Welcome inside Sunday Morning Football, everybody. So glad you're with us. Thanks for being with us. Happy holiday weekend to everybody. And joining us here on the show is one of the starting wide receivers for the New York Jets. Had a breakout season last year. And now the New York Jets and Sam Darnold trying to build on a young quarterback and an improving offense here in the 2018 season. Joining us on the program, Quincy Enunwa. Quincy, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you dropping on by. Let me go back to college with you. You played at Nebraska. For anybody that's been inside the Huskers home game, they know how insane that was. What was it like to walk out of that tunnel and see the red and see the black shirts and just see the fans of Nebraska that have always been so passionate, whether up or down for that football program?
Yeah, I think, that was probably one of the best experiences I've had, just in football. Going there, seeing the fans, they show so much love, regardless of what our record is. They're probably the nicest fans in football, and they really live up to that.
It was amazing because in your time there under Bo Pelini, you guys would win 9 or 10 games every year, go to the bowl game every year, and sometimes that just wasn't enough. No matter what, it's almost never enough. Was that tough knowing that expectations were that sky high every year that sometimes 10 wins wasn't good enough?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about it was they're so used to success. We were winning in the 90s, we were winning before that, so I think that a lot of the fans still kind of lived in that and really wanted that. And I don't blame them, and I'm hoping that Scott can bring that back.
I've been to a Huskers game before, a couple of them actually, and I just was always wowed by the scene and how loud it was. For the number of people in that stands, man, they get so loud. It must have been really cool to have that energy behind you playing on Saturdays. How did it feel?
Yeah, definitely. It was probably, it was probably the most fun I had, and then they expanded right after I left, so, it's even louder now.
Quincy Enunwa joining us here on the show, wide receiver, New York Jets. In 2016, you stepped in for an injured Eric Deckard, had your breakout season, catching nearly 60 passes for nearly 900 yards and really kind of splashing upon the scene. It's never easy to get in because of injury, but when you had that opportunity, what was your attitude?
For me, it's my time, my opportunity to really show, have some fun, make some plays. I really try to take advantage of it. You never want somebody to go down, especially one of the guys that you looked up to, but, you have to take advantage of every opportunity you get.
And you certainly did that. Did you become more comfortable with the offense, with the quarterback, and everything else as you moved along in that season? Did it become a little bit easier once you finally got in there and started making plays?
Yeah, it helped that I was in the offense the year before. It helped that I was playing with Fitz the year before. So, we kind of already had all that chemistry, all that work kind of down-packed already. So, I made it that much easier as I went through, just kind of learning and growing more as a player.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback for a number of games of that season for you and the Jets, and now we've seen the Fitz magic part of this season, sometimes Fitz tragic part of the season with the Buccaneers. It is kind of a wild roller coaster every time Fitzpatrick is under center, good and bad. What was it like to play with him?
It was one of the most. It probably helped me grow the most growing time of my career. Playing with him. He knew so much. His knowledge was second to none. When you go out there, he really kind of helps you grow as a player, help you become a better player. Obviously he had his down times. We had a game where we threw 6 picks, but a lot of it, was team oriented. We could have helped out more. But yeah, man, that guy, when he's on, he's on.
So it's interesting because he's also a guy that will take chances. And so even when you're covered, do you have to be really alert that Fitz might come to you?
Exactly. Yeah, you never know. You got to always be ready for the ball because he's gonna give you the opportunity to go make a play.
Right now, you've got a young quarterback in Sam Darnold, so different than playing with a veteran quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick or somebody else. What are the challenges that come along with playing with a rookie QB?
Well, he's not like the others. He's really a smart player, man. He goes out there, he's able to read the defenses, he's able to tell what's going on. And get the ball out when he needs to. It's just been a trying time for all of us as an offense, as a team. But, I've definitely seen his flashes show and his intelligence show throughout the season.
It's interesting. Quincy Enunwa joins us here on the show for the New York Jets. Early in the season, there was a lot of hope, and recently it's been dashed, and fans are wondering what is next for Todd Bowles and this organization. How is your relationship with Todd?
Oh, Todd is one of my favorite coaches, man. Every time I need anything, or every time I need, to know anything, I can come to him, and he's always open, to helping me learn, helping me grow. And I've always appreciated him. He's only the second coach I've had while I've been here. My first year I had Rex, so since then I've had Todd every year, and our relationship has grown each year, and I really appreciate him as a coach.
How dramatic is that change when you go from somebody who's so loud like Rex Ryan, such a big personality, to somebody like Todd Bowles, who at least from what we see publicly is so reserved? Is that a difficult change to go through when you're a player for one of those coaches?
I don't think it's difficult, but it's definitely a change. Two different coaching styles, two different personalities. But no, it's definitely not a challenge. You just come in and you accept what's going in, and you just go with it.
What's the goals for the second part of the season here? You guys have 6 games left at 3-7, knowing that the playoffs are a long shot at best. What's the focus and what's the goal for you guys?
Well, Sue, going into the season for me, I always wanted to make the Super Bowl. It's tough now, but I think at least my own personal goal is to keep winning. Put some wins on the board, get above 500, even go 9-7, whatever it takes. I just want to keep putting up as many plays as we can, as many wins as we can. I wanted to compete every game.
Give me the best quality about Sam Darnold. You said he's not a normal rookie quarterback. What do you see from him that you go, okay, that part right there is what can make him great?
I think his poise. I think he's able to kind of shake off the bad plays and not get too high on the good plays. I think everybody's been able to see that throughout the season. He's able to kind of stay even keeled, and that's great for us because when you see him make a bad play and it doesn't affect him, it allows us to kind of not feel bad for him and just go out there and play and know that he's ready to go on the next play.
We were talking earlier about your college career. How crazy is it to go from Lincoln, Nebraska, which isn't a small college town, but it's smaller, to New York City, to play football in Lincoln, Nebraska to New York City? How incredible is that difference for you?
Yeah, it was a big difference. But I kind of liken the New York fans to a larger scale Nebraska. They're kind of the same way. They want us to be great, and I think as players we want to be great for them. We want to go out there, compete, and make plays. We want to get to the Super Bowl just as much as they want us to win that championship.
You're going to be hosting a U.S. Marine Toys for Tots holiday drive coming up on Monday, December the 3rd at the Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment area. It's open to the public, which is awesome, and you're going to be there to greet everybody who brings a new and unwrapped toy, and you'll be working on behalf of that Toys for Tots drive. And it's just such an important time of year to do that type of stuff. Why is this cause important to you?
Well, it's important to me because on top of working with the Marines and Toys for Tots, we'll also be giving it back to a charity that I'm really close to, Harlem Grown. Giving it to a lot of the kids that they work with out in Harlem. So for me, it's just awesome to work and give back. Any opportunity I can find to give back, I try to do because it's not just about me. I like to put smiles on other people's faces, people who don't have the opportunities that I have or are in the positions that I'm in.
That's coming up on Monday, December the 3rd at the Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment area. The U.S. Marine Toys for Tots, hosted by Quincy Enunwa. He's going to be there to greet you when you bring a new and unwrapped gift. Quincy, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck with the toy drive, and I appreciate you dropping on by.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
You got it. New York Jets wide receiver Quincy Enunwa joining us here on Sunday Morning Football.